Hey, how you guys doing? Y'all know me as Phil Jones. This is the Unfiltered Truth. Today we're gonna do something different. I know I'm always doing my Raider stuff. Uh, you know, Anything sports or anything other entertainment. Well, actually, we're all gonna do a little bit of sports, but today I am joined by two special folks that had given me an opportunity to help expand what I'm doing. And what they're doing down in Texas is by far outstanding. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mathis Crowder and Dr. Shira Ackerman for the Creating Young Minds. How are you guys doing, Dr. Ackerman and Mr. Crowder? How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Pretty good.
Been crazy from going into spring and summertime for me, and I was covering with the TBL and then with the Creative Young Mind, and you guys are doing something mighty excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For some, and I've tried to explain with some folks that tune in with the show, but I got new followers now, and I know I've had somebody text me like, "What's the Creative Young Mind?" So tell everybody, tell the fans what you guys are doing.
Okay. Well, our organization is Creating Young Minds, and we started in 2011. We're a nonprofit, and we started with our prep school, so CYM Academy, so that we could have an opportunity to help high school players and young men in their postgraduate year earn college scholarships and get their grades where they needed to be so they could be successful in college. And we did that for the first 8 years, and we're extremely successful, helped a lot of guys get college scholarships and even attend college, and they wouldn't necessarily have had that opportunity otherwise, forget to play basketball. So we did that, and our guys graduated magna cum laude, summa cum laude, 3.0 GPAs, 3-year degrees, or 3 years, a 4-year degree in 3 years. Our guys did extremely well. What we wanted to figure out was, because the kind of guys that we get, and I'm sure Mathis will talk more about it, are the guys that nobody knows about. They're undiscovered, which is where the name kind of came from. Our guys, either in high school they didn't play, or they sat the bench, or they didn't even make the team. And so when we got them the opportunity to play in college, they were, the recruits that were not ranked, no stars, good grades, no maintenance, went to class, did everything they were supposed to, first in practice, last in practice, but they didn't play very much, if they played at all. So they didn't have a lot of success playing basketball because of the politics that surround college basketball. So we tried to figure out, after the first 8 years, what were we going to do to help our guys have an opportunity to make it to the next level and bypass some of that politics. Because what it does, I'm sure is it destroys their confidence. They know they're capable, and then someone's telling them over and over again that they're just not good enough, and they start to believe that. And so when they would come back to us, it would take us a while to build that back up, and we didn't want our guys to have to continue to go through that. So we started exploring professional options for our guys. They could go from prep to pro, and certainly our guys from college, we could help them get professional experience. So we started looking around and trying to get our guys opportunities to go to the NBL in Canada, in Australia, and then we found the TBL, so the basketball league. And we thought, well, this is going to be great. Let's get our guys into this league. They can play professional right here in the United States. And that was our goal. And then what ended up happening is we ended up investing in our own team in the TBL. And the reason we did that is because it actually allows us to replicate the European model, right? What they do around the world for all sports is you start really young and you train with older athletes who are professionals, so you can move through a club system. But in the United States, they don't have that. You have high school, college, and pro. And so 3 years ago now, we started that. And so we were the first replication of the European model here in the United States, so that our prep guys could then move up and play on the TBL team. We since switched that model around a little bit and added our Undiscovered League in, which I'll let Mathis talk about. But what I think is great for the United States is, since we've done this, now you have the NBA G League Ignite team, right? And then you have Overtime Elite just started. And those are great opportunities for young athletes to stay home and get that opportunity to be groomed and then play professional. And even with Overtime, I mean, they're going to pay them like pro athletes, but they're not playing at that stage yet. But they're getting paid to play, just like the G League Ignite, even though they're thrown into the professional environment. So it's a much better system to have all these opportunities for guys in the United States. It doesn't have to be one way, and it doesn't have to be only one option to do it a different way. It doesn't have to just be Creating Young Minds because they do it. It doesn't have to be just because the G League does it or Overtime Elite. There can be more models like this replicated in the United States, because all around the world, they have multiple club systems for all their sports for girls and boys. All over the world, we're just, catching up to that system.
No, and looking at it like this past season, I'm just looking like, okay, I see how the game is going. I see how these guys are developing. And what you said with the politics, because I look at some of the guys that were, they were in college but didn't get the shot to go into the draft. I'm looking at Chase Winchester. I'm like, this man is dropping threes nonstop. It's just like, I was talking with one of my friends. He was like, that reminds me of, you remember when Prince was playing Charlie Murphy in basketball? Mm-hmm. Just shoot the J, boom. Corner shot. Every shot, he just kept saying it. And then you just look at, I remember Mike Lenore being that point guard that you've seen, like how a point guard is supposed to be over the years from top basketball schools in the NCAA or, looking in the NBA. I'm just like, he has the blueprint. And you're seeing these guys not getting this opportunity left and right because what you said, politics playing a part. He wasn't being at one of the top schools. He wasn't at that school. So, we're going to tend to overlook that. And we're going to go for the guy that's in the Big 12 or the Big 10 or the ACC. I get tired of seeing that. It's so much talent out there. And the NBA has the money where you can expand your scouts to Division 1, 2, 3, even some of the community colleges. I get tired of not seeing these guys put the effort out there on their scout teams to get these guys recognized. But you guys are doing that right now, and that's why I love you guys so much for what you're doing.
Thank you. The biggest thing with our program is the basketball brings you in. And then once we bring you in, our goal is to develop you, not just as a basketball player, but as a person, mentor you, teach you how to be an entrepreneur, teach you how to be a business owner, basically teach you, one thing I tell the young men all the time is if you're not growing, you're not learning. If you're not learning, you're not growing. You never think you know everything. I don't think I know everything. When I stop learning, that's when I'm going to start growing. I want to grow every day. Basically, my whole life, you look around, there's talent everywhere, at every level. It all depends on how hard you're going to work. I'm close to 50 and I still play basketball. And I still compete with all of the boys that comes in. If NBA player come in, anybody comes in, I still compete against them, and I compete very well. So it's not, a lot of times we give each other ceilings. Everybody give everybody a ceiling. Oh, you didn't plateau out. You don't got nothing left. I'm close to 50, and I get better every day. I'm getting stronger, quicker, faster. I mean, so, Father Time got me a little bit, but, sometimes I think in the world today, we give each other ceilings and we say, oh, well, he didn't plateau out. He got nothing left. And so it's funny how people plateau everybody and put a ceiling on it in the cap. Always tell the young men that I work with, always work hard. Never let nobody put a ceiling on you. You always, you don't have to go to college or get a degree. You can be anything in the world if you want to. You can go learn anything. Like I was telling somebody that you can go learn how to ride a bull. You don't need a college degree for that. You can learn so much. It's like technology. It's like technology changes every week. Boom, boom, boom. It comes at you every week. So anything you do in life is learning. That's what I teach the young men all the time. And whatever you put your mind to, you can do. It all depends on how much work you're going to put in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. And one of the things, and I got you guys on my Instagram, and I try to share it as best as possible. You guys have the young men working in the community, working at the food pantry, and trying to get, at least like, I know Sunday you had a Saturday game and a Sunday game, and all right, y'all rest up. Monday morning, we at the food pantry. We're getting this out to the elderly, less fortunate, and it shows that there's hope for society. With everything that goes on around in this world, right there is a clear definition that there's still hope in this society, and what you have these young men doing is amazing. And I love it.
We appreciate that. And I think that we see that. I think that one of the things that we're trying to teach the young men is why it's important to give back, right? Why it's important to volunteer your time, because most of them haven't done that before, and it doesn't mean they're not good young men. It just means they've never done it. And so we're trying to give them the opportunity to see the value in it. And, we've spent, almost the last year and a half, with CCA, Christian Community Action, on Mondays. Our Mondays are going to change a little bit because they've now opened the pantry back up for the senior citizens. Finally, they can start going and shopping on their own, which is great because they haven't been able to interact with each other this entire time. And they miss each other. It's not so much about shopping for yourself. It's more that they get that social component because they see us. That's who they see. The people who deliver their groceries. They don't get to see each other the way they used to, or even the people that work at CCA. And so we've been waiting for it. And, so it shifts a little bit with what we do. We've got a few hours later in the morning on Mondays until things, get completely back to normal for them, where we go and help out in the pantry for, the last few people that are still getting deliveries. But, we're now shifting some of our stuff to environmental volunteer work. So like this Saturday morning, we're going to be up bright and early down by the water in Louisville, and we're going to be planting seedlings for plants. And we're going to be doing it to help, I don't know if they have these programs on the East Coast, but here you've got Keep Louisville Beautiful, Keep Corinth Beautiful, Keep Denton Beautiful. There's these nonprofits, and they just have the different cities. And so we're doing that. And then next weekend, we're going to be at Pumpkin Palooza, helping out with kids painting pumpkins. The end of the month, we're going to volunteer our time. Well, we're going to have our boys participate in a haunted car wash. They're going to be scarers. And I figure they'd be pretty good at it because they're pretty tall. So big giant guys in costumes in the dark, that might be pretty effective. But so we're trying to get them to see that there's so many opportunities for you to give back to the community that you start to value it and see why it helps you grow as a person. It's not just what you're doing for the community, it's what you get out of it yourself.
No, you're absolutely right. And it just reminds me of the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And you two are showing them that I'm going to help you as best as possible, not just here on the court, but out in the real world. And you got some coaches that are, mentors that try to make sure they're doing that. But I see it so much with you guys. And I'm just like, I need to clone you guys, and I need to just see this all within every 50 state in America.
That would be great.
Because we really do need it. And I'm over here on the East Coast. I'm in DC, especially with the way COVID had hit, and then everybody's getting them back to school. With you don't have that many after school activities anymore, and certain things like this, even if they weren't playing any sport, this kind of method right here, just try to get the kids involved with this. Like, okay, you said like a car wash, or you saying like doing a pumpkin patch and whatnot. These are some of the things that we need to reinstall in our communities. Mm-hmm. And that you guys are doing that down in Louisville, it's clutch. This is what we need. And I'm gonna keep saying this is what we need because I want folks to understand we had this going a long time ago, and we've gotten away from that, and we got to try to bring it back in and try to get back on that path again.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I know some people I know some folks over the years say like, dude, why you sound so old? You sound like you like 40 or 50, bro. I'm like, no. I just remember how I was raised. I just remember how I was brought up, like within my neighborhood and within my community. You made sure you looked out for these kids until they were growing up and getting ready to leave out. Made sure they weren't getting into this kind of trouble. You made sure that, hey, your mom don't want you doing that. Hey, they got this going on. Why don't you help out? Or you see one of your elderly neighbors, we used to bring the bags into the house for. Mm-hmm. You don't see it as much anymore. No. So we definitely got to get back to it. Now, looking at the TBL, and you guys, they bringing firepower in there now. We got Kendrick Perkins. They really want this to expand. Mm-hmm. They really want this to grow. I'm here for it. I'm here for everything. I love it.
Well, one of the things is we're kind of different. Our goal is bring as many young guys into our team as possible to develop. I want to win. I didn't want a lot through my life playing. I didn't want a lot coaching. I'm trying to build a brand. That's the most important thing right now is building a brand. So when people see that leopard and see that CYM, that's more important than anything, that brand. Prime example, the Dallas Cowboys. Right. What? We ain't won nothing since 98. But as soon as you see that blue star, you know what it is. Another thing, you see the Raiders. You see that symbol?
Yeah.
They don't even gotta win, but you know that symbol. And so that's been our goal. It's that symbol. That's important because Dallas Cowboys is the number one franchise program around the world. So when anybody see that, my daughter, she see that blue star, the Cowboys. She's 6 years old. So I mean, and everywhere you go to the grocery store, you go everywhere, you see a shirt with the Cowboy star on it. And so it's more to us right now about branding than winning a championship, getting as many
So
young guys in.
so with the branding, how far would you like to see your academy expand? Like
Well,
off within Texas, or without out of that state, and you seeing within the South, or making a move probably in the Midwest, or in the East.
well, my concept is different.
Okay.
Um, we if you Google our CYM Undiscovered League CYM, you'll see articles, you'll see people that wrote articles, people international that wrote articles. We have pro scouts write articles. We've been written about a whole lot. You can look us up, and we're everywhere. Um, my goal is in the next five years, I'll be all around the world. It's not more of United States. It's more where when people see our label, CYM is known around the world. They see that, oh, that's CYM. Prime example, I was working with talking with an agent, and he was talking to a scout in Australia about a player, and he brought up about he said, yeah, I'm working with I met these guys in Vegas, and they're good people, and they get stuff done, and they're CYM basketball, CYM creating young minds basketball. Oh man, they're amazing. We've been working with them for the last 2 years. And he go, huh? And he talking to a scout all the way in Australia. He just was in awe. He was in awe. He called me about that day. He called me, and then he said, man, I was talking to a scout in Australia. He was on the phone bragging about you guys. So that's more important to me, where I can move organically and quietly, where somebody be talking to somebody in Australia or talking in somewhere in Europe or Africa, and our name come up. And they're like, oh, these are amazing people. Just like you say something about the Cowboys, it come right up, or the Raiders.
No, definitely. And yeah, that's the thing. You got someone like you said from Australia, like bragging about you guys. Like, look, they the real deal. They doing this. They're doing that. When you got someone from another country speaking about your brand and what you're doing, you're absolutely right, man. That is what gets your point across. That's what gets folks to like, well, you know what? Let me go on and look. Let me see what you guys are doing, and then it just starts to expand. It starts to like spread out like wildfire.
Mm-hmm. That's the goal.
Nah,
That's the number one goal.
nah, you're absolutely right. But like I said, I'm just when I first spoke to you guys early in 2020, it was just like, well, it wasn't early 2020. It was early into 2021. And I'm just thinking about it. I was like, you know what? To go off the Euro rules for basketball, to try to basically develop the guys from whether you're 17 or 18 and up, having them being able to play amongst each other. You're right. I was just like, why are we not doing this in America? And it kind of went back to what I was thinking about, well, why LeVar Ball had sent his boys overseas to try to get them to better their game. And I mean, you look at LaMelo right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's showing. It
Yeah.
paid off.
Yes.
And when I saw the games that you had, and then when I saw the guys transition for the TBL, the skill set got even better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you said, it's about developing. It's
Mm-hmm.
about you said it ain't always about winning. I'm here to make sure I had these kids get better by any means necessary, whether you're on the court or off the court.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the main factor. And I love that you guys do that.
Thank you. And the time you met us, and I think you noticed from the time you met us and start working with us to now, you have seen us grow. You have seen us grow. You have seen us expand our horizons and done a lot of different things. So one thing about us, anybody that work with us or do anything with us, our goal is no matter who you are, you work with us, and we can help everybody grow, and that's what it's all about. We all can help one another.
Mathis, Dr. Ackerman, thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for what you're doing. And I'm just going to continue to pray that this expands even further, where more and more people follow behind you guys. Like, this method works. We have to get back to this. And there's some hope in the world. Every time I see the work like I said, every time I see the work you guys do every Monday, puts a smile on my face. Like, I would sit at work and I'd just be like, looking at the live chat on Instagram, and I'm just like, I love it. I love it. They going out here and say, we're here for the community. We had 2 back-to-back games. We're tired, but we're getting up early in the morning, and we're out here doing the good Lord's work, and we're going to help our community. And when you help a community grows. They stay strong. They stay united as one. And damn, I just love it. I'm just, I don't know. That's what I was brought in. Like, being raised in the early 90s, that's what I was brought into. That the whole term of it takes a village to raise a child, and just looking at what we're seeing from you guys. God bless you guys. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Like I said, folks, if you're new to Creating Young Minds, I have the Twitter account, CYM Basketball. The Instagram account is CYM.Louisville Leopards. And on Facebook is CYM B-Ball. Give them a follow. Visit their website, creativeyoungminds.com.
.org. Yeah.
So creativeyoungminds.org. Give it a visit. Check it out. Look what they're doing in the community. Look what they have. But I know the season's getting ready to start up and get things rolling. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Ackerman, Mr. Mathis Crowder, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, you guys take care. God bless. Ladies and gents that joined me tonight, and if you just tuning in, you can recap the show on our YouTube page, The Unfiltered Truth. And as always, Let's work with one another. Let's be strong. Let's be united. Y'all take care. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
All right now.